I'm in Scarborough, Yorkshire, in the north of England, and this was a beloved place of Anne Bronte, the author of Agnes Grey and a tenant of Wildfell Hall. She came here many times when she was the governess of the Robinson family and loved it dearly. In January 1849, Anne received the devastating news that she had consumption, also known as tuberculosis, and it was very serious and that she might not live much longer. She decided to come here to Scarborough, not in the hope of a cure, but in the hope that at least the sea air would give her more strength and buy her more time. In a letter to her best friend, Ellen Nussey, Anne reflects on her prognosis and writes, "I have no horror of death. If I thought it inevitable, I think I could quietly resign myself to the prospect. But I wish it would please God to spare me, not only for Papa's and Charlotte's sakes, but because I long to do some good in the world before I leave it. I have many schemes in my head for future practice, humble and limited indeed, but still I should not like them all to come to nothing, and myself to have lived to so little purpose. But God's will be done." Unfortunately, the sea air was not enough to help Anne. She was just too ill. The Bronte House and Museum in Haworth, about 95 miles west of Scarborough, has on display Anne's handkerchief, possibly used on this trip to Scarborough, and you can still see the speckles of blood from her coughing fits on it. Anne, her sister Charlotte, and her friend Ellen came to this exact spot at St. Nicholas Cliff, to a house called Wood's Lodgings, which is where the Grand Hotel currently sits. And there, at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, on Monday, May 28th, 1849, Anne Bronte passed away, aged just 29. Charlotte decided to bury Anne here in Scarborough, to lay the flower where it had fallen, rather than take her body back to Haworth to be buried amongst the other Bronte children. This was because she wanted to spare her father the trauma of another funeral, having experienced the death and funerals of his son Branwell and his daughter Emily just the previous year. Anne was buried at St. Mary's churchyard. When Charlotte came back a few years later, she discovered that there were multiple errors on the headstone and had it re-engraved. However, because there were still errors even on this new gravestone, and because the sea air had weathered it so much, in 2011 the Bronte Society installed a new plaque which contained the original wording but with the details corrected. And you can see the new plaque alongside the old headstone to this day. Whilst suffering from tuberculosis, Anne wrote her final poem about her illness and the strong possibility that she would die. "A dreadful darkness closes in on my bewildered mind. Oh, let me suffer, but not sin. Be tortured, yet resigned. Through all this world of whelming mist, still let me turn to thee, and give me courage to resist the tempter till he flee. Weary I am, oh, give me strength, and leave me not to faint. Say thou wilt comfort me at length, and pity my complaint. I begged to serve thee heart and soul, to sacrifice to thee. No niggard portion, but the whole of my identity. I hoped amid the brave and strong, my portion task might lie, to toil amid the labouring throng, with purpose pure and high. But thou hast fixed another part, and thou hast fixed it well. I said so with my bleeding heart when first the anguish fell. For thou hast taken my delight and hope of life away, and bid me watch the painful night and wait the weary day. The hope and delight were thine, I bless thee for they alone. I gave thee while I deemed them mine, too little thanks I own. Shall I with joy thy blessings share, not endure their loss? Or hope the martyr crown to wear, and cast away the cross? These weary hours will not be lost, these days of passive misery, these nights of darkness, anguish tossed, if I can fix my heart on thee. Weak and weary though I lie, crushed with sorrow, worn with pain, still I may lift to heaven mine eye, and strive and labour not in vain. That inward strife against the sins that ever wait on suffering, to watch and strike where first begins each ill that would corruption bring. That secret labour to sustain with humble patience every blow, to gather fortitude from pain and hope and holiness from woe. Thus, let me serve thee from my heart, whatever be my written fate, whether thus early to depart, or yet a while to wait. If thou should bringest me back to life, more humbled should I be, more wise, more strengthened for the strife, more apt to lean on thee. Should death be waiting at the gate, thus should I keep my vow. But Lord, whate'er my future fate, so let me serve thee now.